Hi, boys and girls. Here we are another week in our Geronimo Stilton book, The Super Chef Contest. And we know that Cousin Trap is entering the Super Chef Contest, which determines the best cook on Mouse Island. And his assistant is Geronimo. And where we left off last week, they were being led through the castle. And it's kind of spooky, but they were being led to their rooms the night before the cook-off. So we're going to see what adventure awaits them as they spend the night. And the chapter is called Cobwebs, Vintage Cheddar, and Ancient Stains. And this is a picture of their room. There were 2 canopy beds in our room. Each bed had red curtains and a gold chef's hat on top. They were also covered in authentic vintage cobwebs. Dusty cooking trophies lined the mantel, and an enormous oil painting of Count Ludwig von Cheddar hung on the wall. The painting smelled like authentic vintage mummified cheddar, and the bedspreads, curtains, tablecloths, and canopies were all stained with food. They were authentic vintage stains. I looked around the room feeling anxious. What if this had been Count von Cheddar's bedroom? My whiskers trembled as I thought about the possibility of bumping into his ghost in the middle of the night. Trap, on the other hand, didn't even seem to notice his surroundings. Instead, he rushed into the room, opened a screen in front of his bed, and pulled the red metal trunk behind it. How strange. A second later, something shot out from behind the screen. I bent down to find that it was an electrical plug. How very strange. And there's the electrical plug. I stepped closer to the screen to give the plug back to Trap. Behind the screen, I saw my cousin reading an instruction manual. I made out the letters F-R-E. Before Trap quickly moved the screen so I couldn't see anything else. How very, very strange. Oops, sorry, I apologized. I didn't mean to pry. Well, don't peek anymore, Trap squeaked in reply. I'm not sharing my cooking secrets with anyone. Not even you, cuz. Then I heard a click, and I immediately began to hear a strange buzzing sound that continued all night long. A few minutes later, Trap began to snore loudly. Zzz. Between the buzzing sound from behind the screen and Trap's snoring, I didn't close my eyes all night long. The next morning, a loud gong startled me. It was the signal for all the chefs and their assistants to report to the kitchen. I dragged myself out of bed and headed straight for the mirror to comb my fur. Ah, I squeaked, gasping with fright. It was the ghost of Count von Cheddar. Trap sat up in his bed and laughed. Ha ha ha, he giggled, scared of your own reflection. It was true. It wasn't a ghost in the mirror. It was me. I had such dark circles under my eyes that I hadn't recognized myself. I sighed. It was going to be a long week. Geronimo Stilton stinks. All the chefs came out of their rooms at the same time. Trap was the only one accompanied by a victim, or rather a taster. I mean an assistant, which is to say, me. We all headed to the kitchen, which was a cavernous room decorated with a collection of antique copper pots. A contest official stepped forward, took an enormous ladle, and banged it on an enormous copper pot. Ding! The Super Chef Contest has begun, he cried. Every chef began to cook immediately, but Trap pulled out a screen from his trunk and put it in front of his stove. You, he ordered me, taster, assistant. Stand in front of the screen and make sure no one spies on me, got it? My recipes are top secret, understand? Then he pulled the red metal suitcase behind the screen where it was out of sight. The other chefs began to grumble. It's not fair. Contestant Chef 117 is cheating. Remember, that's Trap's number. An official appeared at our station, followed by a mouse pushing a cart with a giant book on top. The book was called Rules of the Super Chef Contest. All right, he called out, silencing the contestants. Let's take a look. He pored over the rules silently for a long time. Then he closed the book with a decisive bang. There is no rule that prohibits a contestant from putting a screen in front of his or her cooking station, he declared. Trap peeked out from behind the screen and stuck his tongue out at everyone. I turned bright red from the tip of my tail to the ends of my whiskers. Why, oh, why did my cousin have to be so embarrassing? Excuse me, I told the other contestant sheepishly. My cousin is very nervous because of the tension in the competition. The other chefs didn't buy it. They began to throw cabbage heads and rotten eggs at me. To save myself, I hid inside a garbage can. I re-emerged at the end of the day's competition. Unfortunately for me, I was greeted by the flashing cameras of all the photographers covering the competition, and by then I smelled like a sewer in the hot, sticky month of August. I imagined the headline of the newspapers the next day, Geronimo Stilton Stinks. Don't worry, Trap said, I'll take care of it. He pulled me behind the screen, he shoved me into a large pot, he hosed me down with a bottle of water. He dried me off with a dish rag, he combed my fur with a fork. Finally, he greased my whiskers with olive oil, then he dressed me as a waiter and pushed me out behind the screen. Now go serve my dishes with class, understand? He squeaked. We must win. So this is called When Trap is Around, It's Never Good for Me. So there's the stuff being thrown at him. So when Trap, number one, when Trap mocked the other cooks, they all threw rotten eggs at me, not him. I didn't know what to do, so to save myself, I hid in the trash can. How stinky. And then number three, when I came out, I stank like a sewer rat, and the photographers took a ton of photos. And then here's where Trap cleans him up. To clean me, Trap shoved me into a pot and showered me with bottled water. And then he dried me with a dish rag and combed my whiskers with a fork. And then finally, he dressed me like a waiter and told me to serve his dishes with class. So, we're going to see how that... Yum, 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 yum. So, I'm going to stop there. And I hope you're enjoying the story so far. I'm sure the dishes are going to be disgusting. The last day to get your AR points is May 29th. Mrs. Lagila just emailed us, the teachers. So, keep getting your points as you're reading things. And then she's going to look at the reports to see who has the most points in each class. So keep getting your points. Okay, boys and girls, bye.